Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boyce, just coming to you with some Grandmaster League Gosu out of the map Antigua Shipyard. Spying down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we do have the one, the only CombatEX as the red Protoss, and up here in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent DnXZark as the blue Zerg. And, yeah, it's Grandmaster League. There's CombatEX. Oh, yeah, there's CombatEX. Let's see what he does. CombatEX is a fancy player. He knows how to roll. He knows what's up. And in other news, I got my first hate this weekend. Oh, I was so excited. Or this week, I guess, is a better way of putting it. Got hate. It's great. They yelled at me about ranting about something that's not in the game. So I'm gonna rant on something that's not in the game. Because honestly, I really don't give a shit. I don't. If you hate on me, listen. I don't make these videos for people that don't like them. I make these videos for people that like them, and people that enjoy them, and people that for some reason like watching me yell at them play video games. I don't know why. It might be this weird sexual fetish thing. I don't understand it quite. I just do it because I think I have the voice for it, and it's fun. And it's fun. If you don't like fun, then, well, fuck you. That's really all I can say. So we have CombatEX going for maybe a fast expanse here. Very interesting pylon placement. Usually if someone builds this, they build it like back a little bit, so they can put the forge and the gateway and then the nexus. And then their wall's all nice and fun, and they don't have an Artosis pylon in the middle of their wall, because that's typically not a good strategy. We have DnXZark dropping his extractor and his spawning pool at 14. So we are going to have a little bit of fun going on there. No fast expands or anything silly like that. Of course, this was back in the era where everybody that played Protoss pylon blocks Zerg expansions, and I mean everybody. This was a game from a couple months ago that I never ended up doing. But yeah, you know, DnXZark, you just didn't go for your hatchery back then because it was not worth it. The Protoss would be there, they would have their probe just sitting on your expansion, and if you didn't drop your spawning pool at 14, you would suddenly be behind because you would be going for a 15 hatch, and you would be having like 300 minerals, and you'd be like, well, shit, what do I do now? Now, of course, he could have gone for the fast expand, but whatever. We have CombatEX actually dropping an amazingly fast nexus here. Interesting placement on this wall. Very interesting placement, because this is not a flush wall off. There's definitely room for Zerglings to get in there. Maybe not Ultralisks, but definitely Zerglings, possibly Roaches even, to fit through that little gap. And there we go. Okay, never mind. I think Zerglings can still fit through like this little tiny gap, just because I think this is the parallels of these two buildings. But that's okay. Zerglings, that you don't really need to worry about Zerglings. It looks like we now have the hatchery going down for DnXZark at his natural, and he's getting a little bit of scouting information out on CombatEX. He knows that this nexus is here, and this is an amazingly early nexus. This was like a 2-minute nexus expand, which is absurd as far as playing in a PvZ goes. Nobody does that. It's ridiculous. We have the photon cannon now just patiently waiting. It's going to be defending against the tides of Zerglings that are going to start coming in, because honestly, this is an awkward spot to be a Zerg player because you're kind of far behind. It looks like this pylon is going to be getting rocked by these Zerglings though, which is a little bit on the awkward side because that will drop CombatEX down quite a bit in supply. The Cybernetics core is now just starting to come up, and it looks like these Zerglings are just going to be camping the mineral lines a little bit. Here comes the Zealot though, and this Zealot will easily micro. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's see these guys. They're going to run out and snag the probe kill and then run the hell away. That was actually really well done by DnXZark, getting one probe kill, not losing a Zergling like a champ. It looks like the photon cannon is now dropping down. It's man-ring his own probes just a little bit, but that's not too bad. That's a pretty good spot to drop a photon cannon. Excuse me. It looks like we have DnXZark now going for a layer to, you know, just build up his tech, get a little bit further along in the tech tree, be all interesting and stuff. And the Zergling run by into the main base has started. It looks like this one little tiny Zergling has taken a lot of hits. He's down to 3 health. Is he going to live? No. No, he's going to get tasered by a probe. And that's a dishonorable way to go down as a Zergling. And it looks like we now have the Stalker coming up into the main base, and he will be sniping away at these Zerglings, just taking off little tiny photon cannon stop shots and stuff. at these Zerglings as I realize that I really can't talk. Well, that's fun. The layer is now completed, and it looks like we are going to have Ventral Sacs. Oh, and Pneumatized Carapace. Oh, are we going to see a drop? Oh, DnXZark. Are we going to see a Zerg drop? That's going to be awesome. And we're definitely going to see a Zerg drop. Yup. There are the Overlords. I'm going to start their long trip across the map with, of course, Pneumatized Carapace finishing in 3 seconds. So we are about to see the whoosh. Yep. All of those Overlords start going into hyperspeed. And it looks like they are going to be moving down to this platform right here. Yep. That's definitely where their trajectory is headed. And they'll probably just be flying up into the main base along this side wall and attacking. And that's going to be really sketchy because this is a pretty good spot to get your attack on. Now, of course, CombatEX does have quite a few gateways, and he does have +1 just about to finish for his Zealots. And those Zealot +1s are going to basically, it's going to really decide how this game plays out, because Zealot +1 is an amazingly powerful upgrade when you're playing against any sort of Zergling pressure play. And this is definitely a Zergling pressure play. DnXZark, I'm not really sure if this is going to work out, because it looks like CombatEX actually already knows about this plan. He already has his army in position. Now he's running away, never mind. Maybe he doesn't. But here comes the drop, and this is not actually that big of an army, and it looks like he's flying in, but he's not dropping. He's not, he should be dropping. No, drop. It's D, and you click on the Overlords. It's D, and then you click on the Overlords. You should just, yeah, that wasn't the best plan ever, because now the Zerglings are dropping out and just getting ripped to shreds by Zealots that are completely prepared for them. So it looks like he's going to be falling back into his next plan. There are a lot of Zerglings here for DnXZark. Now, of course, he does not actually have an Evo chamber yet. There is one just about to start coming up, though. So he's going to have quite a while of not being able to really fight effectively against CombatEX, because until you get that +1 Carapace, Zealots are just going to rip you to shreds. Zealots do a crap ton of damage to Zerglings as soon as they have their +1. It looks like a lot of Stalkers are about to go down here. Yup. Okay, so just 2, which is, you know, it's a reasonable loss. It's a lot of Stalkers to lose for just about nothing. I think like 4 Zerglings went down 90 again. It looks like the whole position Zerglings, not the best strategy in the world. We have quite a few Banelings now morphing in, but honestly, I'm not sure if this is going to be enough, because CombatEX pretty much survived that pressure with absolutely no damage, and you really can't let that happen. It looks like we have a little bit of a surround going down, but beautiful force fields are going to be keeping this army alive, and there's the nice splitting. It looks like these Banelings are going to be trying to go for something, but they just do not get the kills they needed, and that was a very painful to watch. It's definitely not a good situation for DnXZark anymore. He is now down on supply, he's down on army, definitely. These Banelings, they did not do the damage they needed to inflict. I think they killed 3 things for 8 Banelings, and they just did a little bit of hull damage to everything else. And now that hull damage has recovered, it looks like speed is done for the Banelings, though, so they are going to be rolling out quite fast, and they are going to be going right for the army, but I would not be surprised to see some beautiful force fields come out, and there they are. Oh, CombatEX is actually a pretty reasonable player when he's not BMing everybody ever. So, we do have CombatEX now sitting on top of the ramp, and this is really the point for the Zerg player where you are in some deep doo-doo, because you are going to be constantly pressured by CombatEX. He has his pylon up, he is going to be able to just start warping everything in. You really don't have a path of coming back from this, because, you know, you don't have your third, your economy is actually down for this, and he's just really good at micro, as it turns out, and he's dropping beautiful force fields all over the place, and he's actually splitting quite well. So, if DnXZark's just, you know, he's preparing for the end. There are a lot of Banelings coming down. There's a lot of Zerglings dying. You know, Zealots, because that's kind of what happens. And this Zealot wall is just, it's intimidating how much damage they do to Zerglings. Two-shotting every Zergling ever. And it looks like we are going to have the Zerglings coming back out. But again, beautiful force fields are going to be preventing most of this damage from happening to the army of the Protoss player. And oh my god, that was horrifying. So it looks like DnXZark rage quits as the Protoss player absolutely wrecks it and then starts moving up into his main base. So anyway, guys, if you'd like to get your games commentated, you can send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. I accept commentators. I accept games from any skill range, including Grandmaster, Bronze League, or team games, or free-for-alls. I really don't discriminate. Also, if you would like to watch any other games I've commentated, you can head on over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. Don't forget to drop me a subscribe while you're there. It means a lot to me. I get an email and I'm like, yeah, and then I high five my monitor, and then my monitor, glitches out a little bit because you're not supposed to do that. But it happens, and that's how it works. So anyway, guys, this is Boisterous signing out.